drives and the Iron Dome. Israeli salad, Uzi, Stenson, Jaffa's orange crows. Microchips is us, iPhone cameras us, taco salads us, Vamos us, Olive Garden us, White Cluster us, Sabra Hamas, Hezbollah us.
Light the lamp and fire mellow. Cabin Essence, timely hello and welcome to Bad Hasbara,
the world's most bewildered podcast. What was that?
That was Brian Wilson. That was Cabin Essence by the Beach Boys. He died, and the episode in which you did I think you did a shout out to the brilliant legend of Brian Wilson on an episode when I was gone.
Yeah, I put pet sounds in What's the Spin.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to say my respects to the man, the myth, the legend, the beautiful dreamer Brian Wilson. My name is Matt Lieb. I am your most moral co-host for this podcast.
I'm Daniel Mate. I'm the other most moral co-host for this podcast.
That's right. So excited for all of you to join us for another beautiful episode of a terrible show about horrible things. Please give us 5 stars in a review and don't use any of those adjectives that I just used to describe our show in that review.
It's a can't-miss episode of a must-listen podcast that we wish didn't exist.
That's right. We do not have the right to exist, but we have the privilege to. Yes, if you are on Spotify, you can actually comment on individual episodes. Please do that. It helps us boost the algo. More people discover it when there's a lot of engagement. So do that, or tell your friends about it. That's cool too.
Also, especially good if your comment can include some sort of comparative evaluation of mine versus Matt's podcasting skills, your preferences, trying to drive a wedge between us, start some kind of beef, whisper campaigns, all of that. Really helps the algorithm, and we appreciate it. Thanks.
It helps all of us when you try to pull us apart, like pulled pork. Speaking of pulled pork,
tear us asunder.
That's right. Shout out to the Patreon piggies out there. Patreon.com/badhasbara. Do you like this podcast and want more? You sick freak.
That's diagnosable.
That's yes.
That's the new DSM.
The new DSM. DSM stands for, of course, dick sucking mouth. So if you
Daniel sucks Matt.
Daniel stupid mate. How about that? Daniel stupid mate. Give me a rating, Adam. Shout out to producer Adam Levin, occasionally giving us ratings for
sucky Matt.
Yeah.
Dumb sucky Matt.
Dumb sucky Matt.
Sound off in the comments below. Does DSM stand for Daniel Stupid Mate or Dumb Sucky Matt?
Yeah, either one. And again, try to tear us asunder. Please
tear us a new sunder.
Yep, tear us a new one. Please, if you are someone who wants to hear more of this podcast, we do one bonus episode a week. It is on the Patreon. So please go to patreon.com/badhasbara. Also, it's very important for me to tell you guys this, but Seattle, if you are in the Seattle area, and I hope you are, even if you're not, even if you're in the Oregon area, which is not Seattle.
Or the British Columbia area.
Yes.
Which is even closer to Seattle than Oregon is.
100%. Just if you are somehow in or near the Pacific Northwest, come and see my wife and I. We're going to be Saturday, August 2nd, the Bituation Room live in Seattle. It is going to be super fun. We're at the Rainier Arts Center. You can get your tickets now. It's going to be a really, really good show. Lots of laughs will be had and a lot of love. Tickets in the description. Also, the day before that, we'll be at Laughs Comedy Club in Seattle, just doing straight stand-up. But please, Bituation Room live in Seattle. Get your tickets now. Today's episode is brought to you by Islamic Relief USA. Islamic Relief has been working in the Middle East since 1997 and is currently providing food aid, clean water, educational resources, and healthcare in Gaza. If you would like to support, and you should, please put your money to good use as opposed to meaningless use with the Patreon, to good use at irusa.org. That's irusa.org.
You know, I learned something today.
Hmm.
I always thought Islamic Relief was an antacid for after you eat too much at iftar.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I don't think I thought that, but I sort of I was wired to think that. I'd never had the thought. But
And then
my brain was set up, and then I said it
You said the thought out loud.
after learning that it wasn't true.
Yes, knowing, but still saying. And what is podcasting but saying whatever
Right.
you want at any
right.
point, whether
That's
it's
right.
about news or about music. Speaking of music, Daniel, was ist das spin?
Well, the better question would be, c'est quoi le spin, lo? Because what I have behind me, lo, is all the Canadian albums. Because tomorrow, on the day we are recording this, tomorrow is Canada Day.
Wow.
And I picked, in fact, these are all the Canadian albums I could find, and here's a few more.
Wow,
my
look
favorites.
at that. You got Men Without Hats there.
That's right, The Safety Dance,
Mm-hmm,
which is a song about trying to cater to Jewish feelings.
That's right. That's right. You can dance if you want to. You can
But
dance. You can dance
of the
again.
Holocaust. We will dance. We'll dance again on your graves. Yeah, I got the Canadian punk band DOA. I got Annihilator, a Vancouver thrash metal band. Loverboy, Working for the Weekend, the band.
Yeah.
Daniel Lanois.
Yeah,
Anyway, but I've got
those
some
are your
actual albums right
wall
here.
picks.
That's the wall ones.
This is the real.
So here we have Gowan, Larry Gowan.
Okay.
Who had some big radio hits in Canada in the 80s, including the title song "Strange Animal." You're a strange animal, fantastic song.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of an anthropological look at the strange species that is human. Very nerdy,
Sure.
pop song. I got Rush here, of course, from Toronto, and this album, Moving Pictures, has
Tom Sawyer
and YYZ, named after the Toronto airport code.
Yeah. Lee Getty, baby.
That's right.
Geddy Lee. Which one is it?
Neil Peart, Alex Lifeson.
Mm-hmm.
Chilliwack, named after a suburb of Vancouver, where I'm from. And you may not know this band, but you may know their hit song, My Girl, Gone, Gone, Gone So Long. A gone, 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 she's been gone so long. She's been gone, gone, gone so long. You don't know this song?
Talking about my girl.
Different My Girl. My girl. Anyway, if you really want to hear the best version of this song, go on YouTube, look up SCTV, John Candy, Eugene Levy, and Rick Moranis as the sort of teen high school talent show band, the Recess Monkeys, playing a great version of Chilliwack's My Girl. It's one of my favorite 80s songs of all time.
I love it.
Bruce Cockburn, Stealing Fire. Fantastic, incredible guitarist and singer-songwriter. Lovers in a Dangerous Time, one of the most beautiful pop songs of all time. And the song If I Had a Rocket Launcher, which I did a cover of.
If I had a rocket launcher.
If I had a
bum.
Right, exactly. That's how it goes, man. No, it's all about imperialism, and it's about wanting to take... In fact, it's basically death to the IDF circa 1984, because he says, when I talk to the survivors with tales too sickening to relate, if I had a rocket launcher, I would not hesitate. And the final line of the song is, if I had a rocket launcher, some son of a bitch would die. And this was a radio hit on Canadian and to a lesser extent, U.S. radio in 1984. It's about Guatemala and the Contras in Nicaragua and U.S. imperialism. So that's what we used. This is what we threw away, folks.
Man, used to be a proper
hip,
country.
The Tragically Hip, Fully Completely. This is the group that when their lead singer, Gord Downey, died of a brain tumor a few years ago, Justin Trudeau cried in front of the whole country.
Oh, man.
And a couple of groups that may not enjoy being lumped in with Canada Day because of their identities and political commitments. A Tribe Called Red, with their album We Are the Hallucin Nation, Indigenous Canadian techno hip-hop group. Absolutely incredible music. Perfect album. Mos Def, Yassine Bey, and Yassine Narsi, Narsi Nars on Instagram, both feature on this album.
I don't know Yassine Narsi.
His real name is Yassine. He goes by The Narcissist.
Oh,
Narcy, he's incredible, and they have an incredible track on here.
nice.
Saul Williams is also on here.
Okay.
And then finally, the Quebec separatist Gilles Vigneault with J'ai planté une chaîne, which is he's a great songwriter, actually. Great Quebecois songwriter. Total separatist. Hated Canada. Still alive. Probably still hates Canada.
I love that there's separatism. I forget. We don't have enough separatists in the United States. You know? We need to have and I feel like the people who are like the only separatists we have are trying to just restart the Civil War. And I feel like separatist is too cool of a name to
called
give
secessionists.
They're secessionists, exactly. Nah, but I want like separatists, like guy, who's like, nah, San Jose is mine.
Well, there are some people who think that the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, including British Columbia, should secede from Canada and the U.S. Respectively and become Cascadia.
Yeah. Oh shit, Cascadia. That's a pretty good name too.
It is.
Our guest Pallavi went into the private chat and pulled an Adam Levin by writing separatists but equalists, which I mean that's too perfect. I feel like that's what the spin is. You heard the spin. Shout out to all of those wonderful artists, and of course, go to Spotify. You'll see the Spotify playlist in the description. Don't work my corner, Pallavi. So now it is time for us to introduce our wonderful guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to introduce a hilarious stand-up comedian. I know her. I love her. Soon you will know her and love her. We just worked with Bassem Youssef over at the San Jose Improv and lived to tell the tale. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, welcome to the podcast, Pallavi Gunalan. Fuck me.
Pallavi gonna fuck this up.
Pallavi not gonna work here anymore.
Hey, it's me, a fellow Zionist here. Hey. Trying to do my best Israeli accent. I'm walking over here.
Yeah, I'm walking over graves over here. How you doing, Pallavi?
I'm good. I had such a fun weekend with you and Bassem. It was so great.
It was really fun. Yeah, we were over at the San Jose Improv, and we did 4 shows. Bassem's working on a new hour. And we got to open for him and his audience. Great audiences in San Jose. They're a lot of fun. Audience. San Jose's a weird town.
Sorry, I was like interrupting. So I'm going to colonize your time.
Please colonize. Do a settlement.
Bassem was like great too. I would love to settle on your time. Bassem was great too. He was so chill and like down to earth and like just a wonderful guy to hang out with. So that was really fun.
It was pretty sick.
Matt was also there.
I was there. Yes.
Matt's good at that.
Yeah.
I can be there.
You can be anywhere.
You know what I've never been? Square. Never been square.
Or rectangular.
Thank you. Yes, and me, baby.
Aren't squares are rectangles?
Are squares rectangles?
Squares are rectangles, technically.
Yeah.
They're also parallelograms.
I thought all squares were parallelograms.
Yeah.
So, Pallavi,
but not all
parallelogram. Gunalan is your last name.
Bad Mathematica right now.
Yes. First, tell our audience about yourself. Who are you, and what brings you to this world of Bad Hasbara?
I am a stand-up comedian. I used to be an engineer. If someone will give me a job, I'll do it again. But I feel like I've shot myself in the foot with all the comedy.
Well, it's difficult, to get like a job once you start going on Bad Hasbara.
Sorry, I can't get this research done. I'm doing a podcast this morning.
Yeah. Oh, it's about Israel.
Yeah.
How
Don't
Israel
worry about
is bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been doing stand-up for a long time.
You're supposed to be building bridges, designing them, not
burning them down to the ground. Yes.
I know. But I don't know, Matt, when did we meet? I feel like I met you and Francesca around the same time or something.
Yeah, sometime
but we've known each other for a while.
Yeah, sometime in the last decade. Comedy is a small community, only getting smaller. And by that I mean
Palestine comedy is a very small community.
Yeah, there's like 8. There's 8 comics.
We all
do the same shows.
Pallavi, what was your first name before you changed it to sound more pro-Palestinian?
It was Pallavi, actually.
Oh, excuse. What? So Pallavi. Yeah. You've corrected me on this maybe 8 different times during the weekend, and I still fucked it up. Pallavi Gunalan.
The funniest was Bossum. Bossum was like, he could not say my name. I love him so much. He could not say my name.
Which made me feel better because I was just like, okay, see, it's not just like a white guy thing, As
long as you guys feel good and my name is wrong, then I'm fine.
Well, yeah, every time we fucked up, we would high five.
Yeah. I'd be crying behind them and they'd just be like high-fiving.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, so you are someone who, in this, like I said, small community of people who once, post October 7th, did not shy away from actually posting about how Israel is doing bad things and actually not doing good things. And, in comedy, that is exceedingly rare, surprisingly. What's the last 20 months been like? How are things?
Bad. It's been very sad to watch. I may start crying on this podcast. But
this happens
I think like I was one of those people where I'm just like continuously like learning more about the horrors of the world, and like you kind of, once you start pulling that thread, it's hard to go back, and right. I feel like maybe like 10 years ago, I didn't really know much about anything. I had friends who were very pro-Israel, and they would go to protests, but they had like a vibe, and I was like, I don't know enough, but this feels weird. You guys seem like a little too intense for me.
What were they protesting?
Probably
not enough Palestinians died that month?
Yeah.
Failure to meet quota?
Yeah.
I know. And I was also like, why is this happening in Pittsburgh? Like, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going. I was very confused, but I was also one of those people that was told that like everyone, that it was a complicated issue and it was too hard for me to understand. And then I like remember hearing about like during the BLM protests, how like Palestinians like helped the protesters here like learn how to handle the police and stuff. And I was like, okay. And then 2021, there was like another thing where I was online a lot. And so I was like learning more. But I think like once you just see everything, right after October 7th, I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, yeah, there's clearly like a people that are suffering and I don't want that to happen. So I was like reposting like Bisan and stuff. And then my whole feed just became the worst things I've ever seen in my whole life. And I was like, this is very obvious now. And I started reading more. Brag, I read a little bit.
Sometimes
and then
we
I
read
started,
on
like,
this
listening
podcast.
I read this podcast. I'm reading both of you right now, bitches. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like reading Playboy for the articles. It's like I watch Bad as Bar for the articles. That's why.
Yeah.
Not for the naked.
But yeah, I started realizing like I did the separatist but equalist thing, but we kind of are like self-segregating into like pro-Palestine people and then like insane people. And so I just started listening to more of like the podcasts and the content and the people who were talking about it more, and talking to people in real life who were reasonable and not falling for the propaganda. And you just like learn more stuff. So that's why I'm here.
I love it. And we love our South Asian brothers and sisters, and we're about to talk about one of the dopest out there.
I was
you
like,
are
when you started saying that, I was like, oh my God, so many Hindu Indians are so embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are so like pathetic. What are you doing?
yeah. You were talking about this in the green room. It was very funny. You were mentioning you're like, I have. You said you have one cousin who's like super pro Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like trying to get like Trump merch, and I'm like, you already have Modi right there. Like, you can't even vote in this country. You have your own fascist. Like, just deal with that. I'm like, go back to your own fascist, huh?
Yeah. What are you doubling up on fascists for? What about in terms of like Zionism? Is that also something that you've seen at least from that member of your family or anyone else?
I feel like with Zionism, like my family hasn't really said anything, or I haven't seen anything. I've also like not broached the topic with them because there's so much other shit in India. Like, they're on the wrong side of the Kashmir issue. There's like, but I can tell from all of like these things that they're probably going to be on the wrong side of that. You know what I mean? And like, given that they weren't questioning what the Indian government was doing, and the Indian and a lot of Indians were like, we're gonna do to Kashmir what Israel did to Palestine. I'm like, I feel like I know how you feel about this.
Better to not interrogate, just in case you have to start getting into a fight.
I've already messed up the vibe of the cousins chat on WhatsApp enough times. I've been a party pooper in there.
They're going to start another cousins group chat, sans Pallavi.
I feel like they probably have since I was a kid. I've always been like this. I'm like, stop saying that. I'm so excited to visit you guys.
But we're going to talk about another South Asian brother who is a wonderful, wonderful, exciting new politician, which I say with the full caveat of going, politician is the important thing. I understand. I am a cynical person. I'm as cynical as all of you who are in the chat. And there's plenty of you who are cynical. I see you. I hear you. Shut up. But we're talking about Zohran Mamdani. What's that?
What if I was like, I hate his politics, but I love his rap career?
Right? Yeah, exactly. He's like, everything he's saying about no billionaires and Intifada is gross. But you know what I love? Hip hop. Hip hop coming
Cardamom.
from yes. I love cardamom hive growing. Thank you, Adam. Yes. So we talked a little bit about it on last week's bonus episode with Sammy Obeid, but this Mamdani freak out. Yeah.
He sure obeyed. He came on here and all he did was obey.
That's very good.
Hot. You guys gotta get on the fucking Patreon to get that. It was
That's the hotness. You gotta get on the Patreon. But we're going to talk a little more about it today because it hasn't died down. The freakouts that we were talking about on that episode have only doubled, tripled, quadrupled. People are just getting more and more insane about Zohran. And I think one of the more troubling but completely expected aspects of this is how much of it is coming from the Democratic Party itself, which is the very party in which he won the primary to be on the Democratic ticket for mayor of New York. It turns out this whole vote blue no matter who, sometimes the who does matter. At least
I think when they say vote blue no matter who, they mean like what will make the most people the saddest. You know what I mean?
Yes. Vote sad no matter who you have.
More like Winnie the Pooh blue, like the dog, like Eeyore, those are the vibes.
Someone did a pretty funny Simpsons meme with Lionel Hutz, rewriting his business card. So it says, I think Homer says, this card says vote blue no matter who. And Lionel Hutz is like, oh, that's a mistake. And he crosses it out and says, vote blue? ? No! ! Matters who?
That's really good. I felt similar at the time when people were posting clips of Trump saying, no new wars over and over again before bombing Iran, and just going, no, comma, new wars.
New wars.
America first, question mark?
Yeah.
New wars.
So there's been a bunch of freakouts. I mean, first and foremost, of course, you have, starting with Eric Adams, the current mayor of New York, who is...
Oh, I thought you were going to say... I thought you were going to say the current mayor of Istanbul. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, the current mayor of Istanbul.
Actually, funny fact. I'm taking a week or so off after this episode to go do a canoe trip with two of my best friends.
Oh.
On the occasion of our...
It's us.
Yeah, is it us?
We're his best friends.
Yeah,
we're all turning 50 this year. We met at university. Anyway,
I'm not turning 50.
One of them's name is Eric Adams.
Really? Yeah. Oh, well, bummer.
Not a bald black man from New York, but
yeah,
but also loves drowning rats in acid. Actually, so that's pretty
all.
Cool.
Eric Adams have the same hobbies.
Yeah.
So Eric Adams went on CNN to talk about Zohran in a way that is, it's just beautiful, because you could tell that he was not given. Like he was probably given a sheet of paper that said like points to hit, and it was just one bullet point that just said Mamdani hate Jew, and that's all the information he came here with. And that's
all Eric Adams needs. He is the best improv comic in politics right now. You give him any prompt, and he will just spin out with some gonzo Dada-ish, like fucking just absurdist, free associative comedy that makes Reggie Watts look conservative.
We do need to put him on an improv team. Maybe that's all he needs. Maybe.
Dude, that's all he's ever really wanted, is to own his own club and do improv in that club.
We're like, I need a location, and he's like, Turkey.
Yes. So here he is talking with Jake Tapper.
What specifically has Mamdani said that you think is anti-Semitic?
Pro-Hamas. Hamas is a...
I'm sorry. Did he say pro-Hamas?
Yeah.
Like, did someone ask him?
That was his exclamation point. He was just saying how he felt.
Yeah, pro-Hamas. It's like, hey, what would you like to eat, sir? Pro-Hamas.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Terrorist organization that should be destroyed. When you embrace the philosophies of Hamas, not only what they do to their own people, but what they did in Gaza to lift them up and praise them, I think that's a clear indicator that something is wrong with.
Not only what they do to their own people, but what they did in Gaza.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He couldn't even remember. He doesn't even know. He has no idea what he's talking about.
He's flowing, bro. Let him flow.
I love that, like, as he's saying, like, this super Islamophobic thing, Mamdani is just looking like a little cutie in all of his pictures.
Yeah, I know.
Little cutie patootie.
He's got the sort of what I would call the Luigi Mangione thing, where you can say all of the most horrible shit you want about him in the news, but if there's a picture of him on screen, you're just kind of drawn to that picture, and you're like, oh, what a handsome man. that's all you can do. So it's I like it. It's just his handsomeness undermines any of the Hasbara. It's kind of beautiful.
Well, the other thing he has in common with Mangione is they both murked a very powerful man in public.
That's right.
Somebody's going to clip that, and Eric Adams is going to comment on it.
Yes,
for sure.
You're going to get clipped.
When did he praise Hamas? I don't recall him ever praising Hamas.
There's several videos, even during his days of being a rap artist, of praising Hamas and other terrorist groups. And so, a little research, you'll be able to find it. But I'm not competing against him only for what he's done and praising Hamas.
In his rap,
so funny.
My name is Mamdani, and I'm here to say I like Hamas in every way. He definitely did that. Yeah. Eric Adams, like, not even doing the enough research in order to properly smear him is totally fine.
I think-
Adam says Hamas won't be my boss at the workplace of success. That's right. All my haters will be my waiters. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think I have Sharia Wi-Fi in here right now. I don't know what's happening. But I love how Jake Tapper is like pretending to do journalism for like half a second.
Right.
he's like, wait, what would?
He's kind of scared of it. He's just like, but did he actually say it? And like he's doing it because he knows he needs to push back on that, but he's like desperately hoping that Eric Adams is going to come with receipts. And of course, he does not.
He's like, actually, I did a bit of research and I have these flyers where his beard looks huge. So maybe you could talk about that.
Yeah. Could you just show this picture of him looking like Jafar, just so people can associate,
Wait,
evil.
If they associated him with Jafar, all of us would be like, oh my God, queer icon. We love him.
Is Jafar a queer icon?
Oh my God. Like,
I've missed this completely.
You don't know the Disney villain queer icon situation?
No,
They're
I
all
do not.
gay. Scar, favorite gay uncle. Love him.
Wait, he's in love with, isn't he in love with Jasmine?
Jafar?
No, I guess he's not.
Like, he like she's his bestie. Like, come on.
I guess Jafar is mostly just trying to.
You will marry me and become my beard.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's crazy.
We need a queer Hasbara episode.
Hey, on the last episode, I brought out all queer performers for the What's the Spin because it's Pride Month.
That's right.
I will
We did.
tokenize anybody.
That's right. Daniel will do anything for woke points. No, but like the Eric Adams coming in with absolutely nothing is like, that's all he needs to do. He doesn't need to actually, have anything to say on him other than like what the talking point is, which is, remember, he is Hamas. He loves Hamas. That's
Eric Adams like prep is he like walks on stage and behind the camera there's like Trump's judges just going like this and then like threatening him and then he's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna riff on this for a while.
I'm just gonna have some fun.
It'd be really funny if Eric Adams was like, Tapper says, where is this video of him saying he loves Hamas? Eric Adams says, you just do a little research. You just go to a site called Grok and just type in Zohran Mamdani saying
sorry.
My dicky hard for Hamas.
Dicky hard for Hamas.
There will be a video right there. And he also has 3 arms.
I love Eric Adams. Eric Adams is 100% a guy who in real life goes, at Grok, is this real? Like,
and he's like, he's talking about his love affair with Grok. He's like, at Grok, what are we?
Yeah, he would so fall in love with Grok. I know I said I don't like labels, but what is this? Is it going anywhere? Someone pointed out something that I thought was great just to show the Democratic Party's absolute commitment to, their values. Someone wrote, this is from Austerity is Left at Wide of the Post, wrote, slight difference in how Democrats reacted to Eric Adams scraping through by 1% in the 8th round of ranked choice versus Zohran comprehensively retiring a dynastic former governor. See if you can spot it. And it's just a picture of Eric Adams and Nancy Pelosi standing together with the Washington Penis Monument in the background. Like
shortly after his victory.
Immediately after. After Eric Adams people were like, this is the model. This is how we win, which was so funny because he like win in the most air quotes. The motherfucker barely scraped by. And people were like, he's definitely the next president. As if like he was somehow, just carried in on a landslide of public support. But
I mean, I don't think the Democrats are known for like loving overachievers. Like, they're like, we like it when we just barely get another $5 for the next campaign.
What we want to do is lose. So that's why we like Eric Adams. He's someone who loses or gets very close to losing, whereas Zohran seems like someone who would win. So let's go after him.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this from like a bunch of people. You've got Hakeem Jeffries went on to talk about him as well. And I'm just going to play this because it's more of the same.
You mentioned the diversity of your district, including a lot of Jewish constituents. Mamdani has made comments that some have said veer towards anti-Semitism. His initial statement after October 7th, he criticized the Israeli government, but didn't criticize Hamas. He defended the use of the word globalize, or the phrase globalize intifada. And he even said that the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu should be arrested, or he would, if he were mayor, he would arrest Netanyahu if he visited New York City. Did these things
out of the blue idea?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So did the ICC. Like,
right.
what?
Yeah, I love that. It's just like, damn, where'd you come up with such a crazy thought, Zohran? Oh,
Pallavi, I'm sorry. The voters of New York City did not vote for the ICC to be mayor of our
That's
city.
right.
So sorry.
That's
Sorry.
right. If they want the ICC to be mayor, they should vote for... Oh, wait, they're voting for Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're already doing it. Yeah.
Globalizing the Intifada, by way of example, is not an acceptable phrase, and he's going to have to clarify his position on that as he moves forward. With respect to the Jewish communities that I represent, I think our nominee is going to have to convince folks that he is prepared to aggressively address the rise in anti-Semitism.
I think
he did.
I think he did that.
He literally did that.
I think he won your district, Hakeem.
Yes, and this is like the most infuriating thing about that is like they keep they're like if he wants to win, he's going to have to convince Jewish voters, and it's like, did he not already convince Jewish voters who voted in the primary? At this point, you're just like, you're stoked that there's another election. That's all this is.
They're talking about Jewish voters in Israel. Okay, they're not necessarily talking about.
That's right.
He's gonna have to convince them. I'm so sorry. It is so embarrassing how afraid of Arabic these people are. They're like, no more algebra. Okay, that is that's an intifada. If you really think about it, I wasn't great at math. That's my personal intifada.
They're not even gonna sell frittatas anymore because it sounds too close.
I know. If they're gonna hear like they're gonna hear
no more infant,
and then like
no more
shut
infant
it down.
Anything.
Yeah.
No more infant formula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that sounds too close is out. Yeah, it is. It's crazy watching him sit here as if they already didn't vote for him in the primary and he won by a landslide.
Has someone done an Alan Sherman ripoff yet? Hello, mudda. Hello, fada. Globalize the Intifada.
This is a good idea. Someone actually did.
Funny.
Someone did send us a "Here I Am at Camp Hasbara" full lyric sheet for that, and I think we're going to have to meld these ideas together.
Yeah,
because the piggies have been asking for more music.
That's amazing.
But let's continue this.
Wait, I do want to say
please.
one thing. I feel like the reason they're like, oh, he's going to have to win over the votes is because it took them like how many weeks to have a meeting when Trump started doing shit. I think they're on a lag. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I think,
shit. They have bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
and of course, what they're really doing is giving you a preview of all the reasons why they're going to rat fuck him.
Right, exactly. That's 100%
setting up the impossible bells and whistles and hoops of fucking fire and vats of acid that they want him to jump through and into.
Yes.
So that when they do these things,
they'll say
or
this
stand
is why
silently by as they're done by Republicans. They'll say, well, it was he didn't quite pull it off.
Yeah, and it's 100%. That is absolutely correct, and it's absolutely what's happening. Because if they wanted to support his campaign, they could do propaganda on the other side. You know what I mean? They could just be like, they could say what we're saying, which is essentially, he already won. He already won the support. He already convinced the Jewish population, voting population of New York to vote for him over Cuomo, to vote for him over, what is it? Brad Lerner? Is that his name? The Lander.
Don't disrespect our king like that.
we listen. I love Lander. Shout out to Lander for doing
throwing
what
his support
he should be doing, which is being an ally in those situations, especially knowing he wasn't going to win,
and a strategic ally too, not just
That's what I mean. I mean, using his using his Jewishness, using his body as a way of like showing support for someone who he knew and knows is not anti-Semitic. And even he did, mention his own personal discomfort with Intifada, the word Intifada or globalizing Intifada. Yeah, he did. This was before the election. And I remember, I wasn't happy with it. It felt semi rat fucky. But at the same time, he, because of his support for his campaign, I do, give it a pass. I just, in general,
he changed his first name.
In general, this like whole, globalized Intifada, bullshit is about like the feelings. Well, what if some people are uncomfortable with it? What if Jews are uncomfortable with it? And, like the idea that any Democratic politician in New York would not support him and would try to amplify this line of thinking when it's like, okay, you look at how well he did in the primary and you go, I guess people aren't that uncomfortable with the idea of Intifada. I guess his explanation for what Intifada means, which is the definition of Intifada being an uprising.
Which the fucking Holocaust Museum or some major Jewish organization used to use in the Arabic translation for the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Until like summer of 2024, I think.
Right. Yes.
When they changed it to the Arabic word for resistance, which I'm sure if that became popular to describe the Palestinian struggle, would also become an off-limits word.
Right. They would change that as well.
Also, like, people, the lack of empathy and the ability to put yourself in each other's places always, like, it shouldn't, but it always surprises me. Like, the number of times the White House has tweeted out shalom after doing something god-awful. And, like, people aren't like, well, oh no, someone said shalom to me. Is that a threat? No one is doing that.
Yes.
Like,
no one is doing that. It's completely insane. In fact, the opposite is happening a lot. There's like people like Brianna Wu who are, was saying, she said shalom to someone at the airport when she landed outside of Israel, and they looked at her weird. And
she said shalom to a free parking sign. And freaked out.
Yeah, exactly. And she said, the Jewish allies are tired. Yeah, so Hakeem kind of like goes on and on. I want to play something that is more of the same from, this is kind of the video. It's an interview that Kirsten Gillibrand did with some guy that just, if you haven't seen it already, here it is.
Well, the caller is exactly the New York constituents that I've spoken to that are alarmed.
So the caller that she's referring to is someone who calls in. This is on Brian Lair's show, where he allows callers to call in and talk to his guests and ask questions. And the question that the caller had was, "Hi, I'm a Jewish New Yorker, and I think Mamdani is anti-Semitic and trying to globalize the Intifada and is pro-Hamas and blah, blah, blah." What do you say to all that?
Can you validate my feelings?
Yes. Can you please co-sign my delusions? Thank you.
They are alarmed by past public statements. They are alarmed by past positions, particularly references to global jihad. This is a very serious issue.
He has never said global jihad. He's never talked about globalizing. He's actually not ever, I think, said globalize the Intifada.
He's actually he's a flat earther, so why would he even say globe?
Yeah, he doesn't believe in the concept of globes.
Yeah.
He thinks there's an ice wall surrounding.
These fucking morons think Intifada and jihad are synonymous or have anything to do with each other.
Yes, and it's just straight Islamophobia. It's like it is pure uncut Islamophobia where they're just like jihad, Intifada, whatever the hell.
They said globalize the Allah? Is that bad?
They said something globalize the Allahu Akbar, and we all know that means kill the Jews. Here's
because
more
people
from
that
her.
glorify the slaughter of Jews create fear in our communities. The global Intifada is a statement that means destroy Israel and kill all the Jews.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
These are the kinds of things that if Mr. Mamdani is elected our mayor, we'll need to assure all New Yorkers that he will protect all Jews and protect houses of worship and protect funding for not-for-profits that meet the needs of these communities. Those are the things he'll have to do as our mayor.
He would certainly say that he has committed to protecting all Jews in New York as mayor of New York.
Wait, can I address something really quick?
Please.
So I think the person who was calling in was talking about him promising to defund nonprofits. But I think what Mamdani was referring to was people that were trying to sell land in Gaza. It was people doing bad shit to Palestinian people. That's also, I think, illegal. I don't know.
Right.
Listen, Pallavi, an unspoken rule, a code, you might say, in New York politics, ever since Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt dropped in 1996, is you can't knock the hustle. All right.
That's right.
And what Mamdani is doing here is flagrantly knocking some people's hustle.
That's right.
It's a hard knock life. Okay.
It is.
That's right. And boy, Matt, there's definitely a Jay-Z song, No, got nothing, guys.
I got 99 problems, but
I would have done that. I know that. But yes, don't knock the hustle, and that's what he's doing. He's knocking the hustle of all those who are just merely trying to celebrate their religion by selling land that they do not own.
99 problems, but a smoke trich ain't one. Thank you, producer Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, and Brian Lear actually pushes back, which credit to him.
Do you dispute? Do you doubt that?
Well, one of the issues I did talk to him yesterday was exactly this issue, and he has agreed to work with me on this and to protect all residents.
Yeah.
Also, I thought, literally when I listened to this the first time, I thought whoever was playing it was speeding it up 1.5, but she literally just sounds manic like this. That's crazy.
Yeah. If this isn't sped up, then damn, I gotta find out what kind of ADD meds she got.
But I understand why people are concerned because of past statements, and so this is just an issue that I will work with him on for sure.
She's just reading an APAC teleprompter. She's just trying to catch up.
Faster.
That's a line from Andor. That's Dedra says, that's an issue I will work on him on for sure.
Yeah.
I'll send him to the doctor.
Yes.
This episode is for all our Jay-Z Star Wars fans.
Yes. Daniel, please, you got to finish it. Finish it on your canoe trip.
I just started season 2.
Okay. Well, we got to talk about it more as soon as you finish. We'll talk about it more. And then also
seems to be a little it's sort of about galactifying the Intifada. Am I right?
It does feel like they are galactifying the Intifada a little bit. I'm going to say there does seem to be a sort of burgeoning Intifada in that show. We will find more as soon as Daniel
universalize the Intifada.
That's right.
I just feel compelled to say, we can find no evidence that he has supported Hamas or has supported violent jihad, as that caller was asserting. Can you?
I think the reference that I had read was Global Intifada specifically, which has very...
I love the smearing of someone's entire fucking person, doing a straight up character assassination based on, I don't know. I think I heard my homie Jeff said that Mamdani was out on the streets just talking mad shit about how Israel is bombing children or whatnot. And anyways, he definitely said some shady shit for sure.
Me and Eric Adams are in the same Facebook groups, and those AI images are really terrifying.
It's like a hitman or an assassin going out to do a job based on like a very garbled like voice memo from their superiors, like that said nothing about go get them.
Yeah, it's like he's just like going to shoot 3 similar guys. Just go, one of them had to be him.
Very serious meanings.
It's literally the cops
are violent and destructive. So
which he says, and I pressed him on this on the show on Monday, but which he says are not calls for violence because Intifada is a much broader term involving all kinds of uprisings and resistance and things like that. So I just want to be clear about how at least he defines it. And maybe he needs to be more clear. I don't mean this. I don't mean that. He did say here that he didn't want to be the word police, even as the mayor of New York, if he's elected. But I do also want to be clear that he said he does not support violent Intifada.
Defund the word police.
So Brian, I didn't hear your exchange with him, but if I was speaking to him directly, I would simply say that is not how the words are received. And it doesn't matter what meaning you have in your brain.
Because you're
it is
racist,
not how the word is
bitch.
received. And when you use a word like Intifada to many Jewish Americans and Jewish New Yorkers, that means you are permissive for violence against Jews.
Okay, so at this point, Kirsten Gillibrand, you are not speaking. The election for the Democratic nominee for mayor has happened.
That's right.
If this were before then, you could continue making this argument. But so far, all you have now is, oh, shit, well, but have you considered all the people who forgot to vote that day? And it's like, yeah, it's true. Primaries are not going to be, there's going to be larger turnout in the general. But at this point, what you are doing is spreading this misinformation. What you are doing is saying, no. There are some Jews out there who, when they hear the word Intifada, they think this, that, and the other. And all I can say is, sorry.
That's right.
Sorry.
That's right.
At some point, you do have to learn. You do have to educate yourself. You are not allowed to continue stoking the delusions of people just because you figure it'll earn you political points against someone who is a political rival for no real reason. Like, why is Mamdani your political rival? It has everything to do with AIPAC. It has everything to do with donors and zero to do with protecting the handful of Jewish constituents that you've talked to who are like, I'm scared. And guess what?
But
the vote happened. If people thought that he was the guy you are saying he is, then they had their chance to say whether or not they thought that. They didn't.
Okay,
and less than nothing to do with winning.
I think, this rant is super Islamophobic because she was like, basically like, you spoke Spanish in a grocery store and that means you're taking my jobs. But like, but also just in the context of who she's listening to. Multiple times in this conversation, she's like, I didn't listen to your conversation with Mamdani. I didn't listen to when he explained what the Intifada is. I didn't listen to anything this Muslim man said. Instead, I'm listening to a caller who is calling in with a bunch of racist rants because that is more valid to my mind to listen to than the potential mayor of New York to actually understand him. And I'm like, it's so, like, even that action is so dehumanizing. Like,
right.
I can't.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have to say, like, we are not Peter Beinart haters on this show. Far from it. I have a lot of respect and gratitude for that guy and hope we can converse with him one day soon. But he said something that I thought sort of betrayed a kind of bias that I wish he didn't have, where he tweeted, he's like, look, the Jewish New Yorkers' conceptions and prejudices and fears about Mamdani are 100% wrong and misguided, but they're sincere.
Right.
And I think I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to hold empathetic, compassionate space while holding the line on the facts. But at a certain point, when you start granting sincerity points to something that is so, at the very best, polluted with insincerity. Right. I'm not saying there aren't Jewish New Yorkers who have like genuine or at least felt emotion in their bodies and nervous systems around these words and all of that stuff. But like, you can just hear it from these politicians.
Right.
The lack of sincerity, the lack of good faith that just drips off of every smear that I wouldn't.
Listen,
yeah.
David Duke means it when he says the things he says.
This is exactly,
at least
yes.
being genuine. Come on.
Yeah, this was the exact point I was going to make, which is like, I have no doubt, I have zero doubt that there are people who are genuinely afraid of hearing Arabic. I don't cater to them. And they do not get a pass to be Islamophobic. This is like the pisses me off more than anything else is the idea of like, well, I can see how if you're Jewish, you may hear Arabic words and they may remind you of the Arabic people in Israel who do terrorism. And it's like, you don't get to just erase the critical thinking part of your body. You know, you don't get to erase the history and the context. You don't get to just be racist and be like, well, we have to cater to them and rub their hand and tell them it's okay. You know, he will allay your fears, especially when you know that, of course, that there are people who feel that way. Of course there are. The people who are saying that, like the Gillibrands or the Eric Adams or the Hakeem Jeffries, are doing it for political reasons. They're doing a smear. I'm sorry. The idea of like the fact that there remain people who are going to be offended by words like Intifada, that's just a fact. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be that.
They're using Jews to do it, which is actually a smear. They're doing a smear campaign.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
They're doing a smear campaign. 10 out of 10, by the way. But yeah, it just it pisses me off.
Strike zone.
It pisses me off so much to hear like any kind of like, well, we should have, you know, some empathy for people who hear this and get scared. And it's like, have empathy for whoever the fuck you want. The idea that any leader in the Democratic Party would then use that Islamophobia to their advantage because they don't like this guy's either Israel policies or his economic policies or whatever the fuck. I'm like, that shit is evil. That shit is straight just racism. It's you are not allowed to be racist by covering it in protection against anti-Semitism. That does not help with anti-Semitism. It makes everything worse. And it just, the fact that we have Democratic politicians doing this, it's not surprising, it's not shocking, but it's fucking infuriating, dog. I have
a solution. How do you say globalize the Intifada in Hebrew? Maybe
my God.
Maybe
that would be better.
Do you know how terrified?
That's actually not a terrible idea.
I'm going to look that up.
Zionists would be fucking freaked out if Arabs learned to speak Hebrew and then start saying
a lot of Arabs do by necessity.
No. I know, but I mean like on a larger scale.
Yeah,
like
on a global scale.
In their campaign.
That's actually a really good idea.
All right,
let's get it trending, guys.
Yes,
let's get it. It's
death to the IDF trending.
להפוך את האינתיפאדה לגלובלית.
Fuck,
so it's the same
Intifada.
thing? So they're mad at the same, it's the same word in Hebrew, so they know what it means?
Yeah, they forgot.
Half of Israeli Hebrew is Arabic words.
That's right. You have to remember
Sababa, Yalla,
yeah, exactly.
Habibi.
Whoa, yes, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, they borrow from it all the time.
Yes.
Oh
it is,
my God.
You know how I...
Wait. So
as a white dude, always be stealing African American vernacular. They do the same thing.
You do always be stealing that.
I always be doing.
Well, you know, we in the Ku Klux Klan in Mississippi, we're 10 toes down. We're about our business.
We're standing on business.
We're standing on business,
and that's on that. Period.
Yeah, period.
Wait, so they're not scared of the word intifada because that's Hebrew. They're scared of the English words. They're scared of globalize the.
Yeah, it's the globalize the part. You know.
Listen, we're also scared of English. Okay, the British terrorized us too. Okay,
look,
we're all on the same
That's right.
At my most charitable, I could say, okay, fine. The second Intifada is associated primarily with suicide bombings and
yes.
boss bombings, and that's all people remember. blah, blah, blah. But if you go back to the fucking first Intifada, and I'm sure the entire history of the second Intifada would round this out, would balance the picture. But the first Intifada, almost entirely nonviolent, except on the side of the government whose army was sent in to break the bones of children.
Right.
And we all know what nonviolent Palestinian mass civil disobedience leads to.
Right.
It leads to as much, if not more, violence than fucking armed resistance.
Right.
So.
And it's also just, I'm sorry, but even in talking about the second Intifada, people are like, well, they had memories. They know of that word because of the second Intifada, in which there were suicide bombings and whatnot. Look at the amount of destruction and death wrought upon the people of the West Bank and Gaza during the second Intifada. The idea that you get to completely erase the power dynamic between these two parties,
right?
Because it was really scary. They were actually doing some damage.
Yeah, the side that's not supposed
they were
to
actually resisting.
Yeah. The side that's supposed to be completely insulated from any of the death and destruction that they regularly wreak upon the people of Gaza. We're actually seeing it. Like, chickens roosting is not something like that they should ever have to feel. Anyway,
chickens should go roost somewhere else. They shouldn't come home to roost.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We need to build a wall.
Do that shit somewhere else.
That's what walls are for, to stop the chickens from coming home to roost.
More like iron don't, okay? Just don't.
We need to take a break, guys, because there are commercials for things that we support. I don't know. You'll find out. We'll be right back. And we're back. As bad as Bara. We're here with Pallavi Gunalan. What's up?
Nothing. Just enjoying this conversation with you guys.
I enjoy conversing, talking, hanging. But you know what else I enjoy?
I do too.
Yes. You know what else I love, though, y'all?
What?
I love music. I love listening to it. I love dancing to it. I love when there are music festivals in which people live stream. There was one of those recently.
Shout out Helen from Wales.
That's right. Helen from Wales. We will be getting into it. The Glastonbury Festival just happened.
I think it's called Hamastonbury.
Sorry, Hamastonbury. The Lingonberry Pancake Festival for anti-Semites happened recently.
So good.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm hungry. It just happened over the weekend, and there was, of course, all of the regular concerns. Security obviously has got to be of utmost importance in a festival situation, because you don't know what kind of, elements are out there trying to reap destruction. But they forgot one thing. They forgot to make sure that the artists were all Zionists, and they failed spectacularly.
They have those security things where they come through and they check the metal detectors.
That's
and
right.
They make sure you have clear plastic bags, and they make sure you denounce Hamas, and then that's how you get
exactly
to the festival. Yeah.
Yeah. You pour out your water, and while you're doing that, you're pouring out also your support for Hamas. Unfortunately, not everyone was able to do so. And it's been, a few days now of Glastonbury discourse. And I've just been eating it up. We have some of our pod favorites who were there. Kneecap was there. Bob Villain was there. Rod Stewart was there. Mm-hmm. It just was, truly an amazing fest.
Young.
Do you think I'm sexy? Yes, I do. For the last fucking time.
Neil Young was there too.
You're like needy Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Rod Stewart. So, do you think I'm sexy? Yes. You're sexy. Good job. Fuck.
Yes.
Have you guys heard?
Do you think I'm valid?
You guys know the gerbil story, right? For Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Do you know the had to have your stomach pumped for Rod Stewart? Is that a known thing? Oh, okay. That he drank so much cum that he had to have his stomach pumped. That's
Damn,
I don't think
sexy.
that's real.
That is so sexy. I overdosed on jizz. That's crazy.
My friend, when I was a kid, it was Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block. Yeah, maybe it's like shifted a lot, but it was just something that apparently people, it was a meme back when we were kids. Not for me. Vince Mancini, my co-host on the Rewatch podcast, he constantly brings up stomach pumps for cum, and I'm like, we just had a different childhood. Anyways,
how much is a pumpable sum?
I don't know. That's cum. The other question.
You know, when
is
you
like
go to college
cum sum.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to college and you don't know your limit and you're just drinking cum here and there, and then one morning you end up in the hospital. That's right. Because you got cum
the thing is, when you're young, you can do that, but you hit 30.
Oh,
you wake up the next morning, you can't get away with that shit.
All of this shit
I have a cum over for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Just have cum hangover. Oh God.
You got to drink water and eat some bread before.
A lot of water. So
by the way, we are submitting this episode for the Peabody.
That's right. This is Peabody Award season. We want to let you know that we have a lot of good stories to tell. But yes, a lot of great artists were there. And I gotta play what happened with Bob Vylan. So apparently, the BBC made sure, because they stream Glastonbury, they made sure to I think cut away or to not live stream Kneecap Set because of worries that they might go up there and say Free Palestine, which is of course a dog whistle for
we're tired.
Yeah, for we're tired. And so they decided to instead play some other acts, and one was Bob Vylan, who we have played on this show before. Here was Bob Vylan's, or part of Bob Vylan's set, and I here it is.
So sick.
Oh boy, I love this guy. We gotta get this guy on the pod. How? Bob!
I love it so much. New theme song for the pod.
I know. So there's so much about that chant that is just incredible. Number one,
pod for the love of God.
Yeah. Number one, it is just nice to have a new chant. It's like one of those things where it's just like every time I go to any protest, I'm like, it's like the same kind of like three things over and over again. And I'm just like, can we, if you ever watch like soccer, football, whatever, they got hooligans coming up with new chants all the time. I feel like there are people dedicated to writing chants. Can we get more chants?
What do we want? Something original and catchy. When do we want it? Yesterday.
Yeah, 100%, no blank.
This is what chanting looks like.
Yeah. No KKK, no blah, 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 blah. It's just like, we can do better. It doesn't even have to be more complicated. But death to the IDF is one of those perfect things where you hear it and you go, oh, shit. And then you think about it for less than 3 seconds and you go like, that is great. I don't want to say permissible, because who the hell is giving permission for fucking anything? The idea of permissible is whatever. But like, death to the IDF is a feeling that I think a lot of people have had, and is it's not death to Jews. It's not death to all Israelis. It's not death to,
although by virtue of the fact that conscription is there, it's death to a lot of Israelis.
Well, that's not the fault of the chant.
At least some of the time.
Yeah. At some point.
Who don't have a moral compass for like living.
Right. Exactly. And also, that's not the chant's fault. The chant didn't invent conscription.
Well, as friend of the pod, Sana Saeed said, that Glastonbury chant is actually the politest thing one can say and do about a military that has been doing this nonstop for 360 days. And of course, she posted just one of many horrible clips from Gaza just from yesterday.
Yes. And, it's also, I mean, the outrage over this has been so fucking funny to watch. I mean, here we have, this is David Collier, who is someone I've mentioned on the pod. He made his whole thing.
Not Dave Coulier.
Yeah, not Dave Coulier. He is,
Isn't it ironic?
He's not cutting it out. So this guy made his whole thing trying to get Wikipedia entries to do Hesbara. That's been in his entire life is that. I just love this guy. So he wrote, death to the IDF at Glastonbury. This guy is wishing death on almost every single Israeli child. And he thinks he's clever. Child? What are we talking about here?
Well, in Israel, they use children as human shields.
I was going to say, do they have a child army like it's Coney?
It's the only country in the world that has perinatal basic training.
Right? Yeah, exactly, dude. It's just
Krav Magugu Gaga.
Yeah, Krav Magugu Gaga. That's
honey, come here. Feel my belly. I think she's saluting.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
man,
so wild.
It is just
and it's
so
also crazy that people who are like rabidly Zionist are like, yeah, every child is evil over there, and so they need to die because they're pro Hamas. They're born and bred Hamas.
They're born and they're taught to hate. Yep.
Yeah, but not us. We're just chill.
Well, as other friend of the show, Ty Hickey said, on the one hand, all children are combatants, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the IDF, all combatants are children.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All combatants are little tiny babies if you're in the IDF. And yeah, like the way in which people are like talking about this is just kind of like, this is unbelievable that, he would say such a anti-Semitic thing, calls for, the destruction of Jews, calls for a second Holocaust, and it's just like, as Sana said, this is the politest that you can be, and also the most like surgical in terms of target. The target itself being the army doing the genocide is complete. Like you can't argue with it. Sorry, you can't. Yeah.
Also, the second Holocaust is already happening in Gaza. Like,
it's happening
what do you
right
mean?
now.
Like it is happening, and also like this is something. Like for a long time, I struggle. I think that there should be people in all lanes, like people who are gentler and more patient, and then me, like people who are pissed off all the time.
Right.
Like there's a whole spectrum of people to educating people, getting them over to your side. But there is a satisfaction in like the bad guys getting scared. Because they're never fucking scared. They're wearing like the clothes of the people they've murdered. Like they're dancing around on fucking TikTok. I want them to feel fear when they hear death to the IDF. I want that bubble to be burst because like what the fuck are they doing?
Yes. I mean a consequence, please. I would like to order a single consequence, even if it's just a completely rhetorical one. Even if it's just something in rhetoric or in public opinion. You just want something, and the idea that this chant is like somehow, oh no, this is completely non-permissible because it's about all Jews or about all Israelis. It's fucking bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. Here is something Brianna Wu tweeted about it. Check this out. Your view of the IDF changes when you visit Israel and you visit their bases. I'm sure it does, Brianna. When you cheer death to the IDF, you're really just calling for the slaughter of the only Jewish nation's 20-something children. Like, they're literally just very sweet kids serving their country. To which a bunch of people...
I'm sorry. I've seen their TikToks. They are not serving, okay?
They don't serve shit.
They are not.
They don't even serve cunt. These fools, they are, all they do is dance in the bone dust of their enemies. And
someone needs to do like
not fun.
A 5-star Michelin restaurant TV sketch about serving cunt, but like haute service, Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah. White glove.
Yeah,
they're
white glove cunt
it in
restaurant.
The
bear cunt edition.
That's right. With one hand
like freaking out in the back. They're like, we got to get this cunt out now.
Yeah. Cousin! Oh, the cunt order!
Yes, chef.
Yeah.
Yes, Hunty.
Excellent concept.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chef.
The one thing I was gonna say earlier about like shaking them to their core, there was this memory that I have that is very defining for me for the last like 20 something months. Like I went to a protest shortly after October 7th, and like there was this big, beautiful Palestinian flag, and we were holding it, and we were marching, and we were chanting. And I remember seeing this one lady, and there's no way she wasn't a Zionist, and she was standing on the side watching everything go by, and I like that is the image of jaw on the floor to me, of her being like, oh my God, like I can't believe people care about these people. Like I just remember her being so shook, and I just want that to happen over and over again until people start like questioning it, you know? And like anything we can do to shake them out of that, I'm like, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, that's what watching, you know, these acts of defiance, even in a completely artistic, you know, symbolic, theatrical way, is like the point of them, is the hope for them. And also as a little bit of a litmus test to see what the, you know, trying to see what which way the wind is blowing. It's very comforting to me to see everyone at Glastonbury chanting back death to the IDF, which is like, you know, something that you just would not expect. I don't think you would see that here.
Well, and many commentators are rightly pulling from this that it's just the latest sign that this generation has been lost, and to the Hasbarists, and thus to the cause of justice and and rightness found. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
Because you just can't do what you've done for the last 21 months,
right?
And expect people not to full-throatedly embrace a chant like that captures how everyone feels but didn't have the words for.
Right. And, you know, go ahead.
And I was going to say, like you were saying, it gives you comfort. It definitely like rejuvenates like a lot of the people over here, but you would hope that this message like reaches people in Gaza, because they're so like, I get emotional thinking about how like inspiring and persistent and like just the peak of humanity that I've seen there at the same time that this has happened. Like, I speaking of Sammy Obeid, like I've toured with him too, and it's the most beautiful experience. He literally will talk to doctors and nurses from Gaza who are FaceTiming, you know, videos of doctors and nurses there right now, and they watch his videos. Like they see Miss Rachel. Like anything we can do, we can't get in there right now, but anything we can do to communicate with them, to let them know, like, to keep fighting, and we're still here, and like we hear you, and we're all together on this. Like it really feels like we're connected in this way, you know?
Yeah, it's for sure. And speaking of Miss Rachel, just wanted to say she recently posted from my dear friend and collaborators Tony-winning musical Maybe Happy Ending.
Yeah,
she went and saw it with Aaron.
With her husband Aaron, I love it because I'm proud of Aaron and I getting out for a date, which is like the most both my both my parents do content, like that is 100%.
That's so cute.
This is how Francesca and I saw a movie. Well, we saw 45 minutes of a movie and then we got hungry and left. Like last week, and it was like we felt very proud of ourselves for going out on a date.
Mom and dad content.
Yeah, but I agree completely. It's just the shows of solidarity is kind of what most people can do. It's most people can't obviously afford to give substantial amounts of money.
Because all our money is going to the weapons, so we can't.
Right, exactly. We wouldn't physically be able to afford to offset the money that goes to the weapons, and so instead it just here's us, letting you know we're standing with you, and we can only hope that they can, see that. And
I'm getting an image of, this is out of the movie version, because you can't fight the IDF militarily. right?
Right.
The Palestinians can't to Gaza. It would need
right.
intervention. But I'm imagining some kind of a crazy like sound system being built from underneath the ground in Gaza, like the entire strip turned into just massive speakers, and then the Glastonbury chant, "Death, death to the IDF," being pumped through that at exactly the moment when you know they're doing their key operation. The IOF is coming in and just like getting blasted with the sound of the entire world. Chanting that, what that would do to their morale, and then the tide turns. And, and
that's actually the plot of Sonic 4. So that's Sonic 4.
They do that to Robotnik.
Death to the idea.
death to Eggman. Yeah, it is. You know, it is something. Watching people freak out about it. I mean, they're already trying to ban Bob Villain from the United States. They're trying to get, because he's about to come here for a bit of a tour, which I'm very much hoping he's able to do. I would love to see him live.
Let's go together.
I'm 100% down. I'm 100% down.
Yeah.
He just got dropped by UTA. His agency, United Talent, which of course,
call it UTI from now on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just this is not at all shocking to me that he would lose his agents over this. People have been losing their agents for doing much less than a chant.
Rather lose my agents than my agency.
Oh
bitch.
yes, hell yeah! Serve the cunt. Tame the cunt.
Okay, no more. You're not allowed to say
sorry.
it.
Sorry. When I say it, I was having too much fun, and now I shouldn't say cunt so much.
And now you got to say it full confidence, or
I
not
know.
at
If I do it half confidence, I sound like a creeper.
Excuse me, my wife is diabetic. We were wondering when will the cunt be served?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. But yeah, he's getting all these consequences. Meanwhile, Bob Villain went on Instagram, and first he posted this wonderful picture.
I loved that.
While Zionists are crying on
happy.
socials, I just had late night vegan ice cream. And I love the vegan thing, by the way. People are trying to do this thing where they're just like, they're trying to 8 Mile him, where they're like, his real name's Clarence, and Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. And it's like, he is a rapper. I mean, I'm sorry. He is like a punk rocker / rapper. It's like he's not fucking Papa Doc from Detroit doing, the 8 Mile thing. There is no pretense to the shit he's doing. It's crazy. This is like the wonderful tweet from Aso and Stanley. Tell me you have no black friends without telling me you have no black friends. And it's Peter Lloyd writing, Bob Villain's real name is Pascal Robinson Foster. Turns out he's also a vegan poet. So urban, so punk, so gangsta. You've obviously never met a punk rocker in your entire life, If you're looking at someone and going like, oh, how punk is this? He's a vegan. You've clearly never met any punk rock person ever. Like the idea of a vegan poet is not like somehow not punk. It's you know what I mean? It's he's acting
they need
like
to bring 90s sitcoms back, because that was like there was one slam poetry episode in every 90s sitcom.
I feel like
also he's got long dreads, right? You could cross reference with Rasta, like you got a whole fucking religion of dreadlocked people who don't eat animal products.
It's just
if you wanted to like even whatever.
He just sounds racist with like
it is racist.
Thing.
All it is they're trying to 8 Mile him, and just watching that is like it's so like subconsciously racist. It's
be like taking a Mother's Day post and be like, this guy is honoring the women of the world. I thought bitches weren't nothing but hoes and tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
A2 rapper.
Yeah, look at this. He can't be rapping. He's respecting his mom. It's like, okay, so you're just racist.
Also, he looked so happy when he was eating the ice cream.
I
and
know.
Then people were like, his parents are happy. And I'm like, good for him. You know,
Yes.
like that
Yes.
makes me even, thank you for doing the research to make me happier for him.
I'm glad to know that his parents are happy. Like the idea, they're like, oh, he comes from a family that where everyone loves each other. It's like, what are we doing here?
About the familial unit, because that's the only way to raise well-adjusted children. Oh, wait, they're pro-Palestine. Never mind.
I just love the idea of like some fucking Zionist, like right-wing psychopath who like works for the free press or whatever, trying to like get rid of the street cred of British punk rock guy. It was just like, the dude's up there going, death to the IDF. It just like, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna be able to Barry Weiss this, bro. You know,
his next post was even better.
Yes, really fantastic. Do you want to read this?
Sure. As I lay in bed this morning, my phone buzzing nonstop, inundated with messages of both support and hatred, I listened to my daughter typing out loud as she fills out a school survey asking for her feedback on the current state of her school dinners. She expressed that she would like healthier meals, more options, and dishes inspired by other parts of the world. Listening to her voice her opinions on a matter that she cares about and affects her daily reminds me that we may not be doomed after all. Teaching our children to speak up for the change they want and need is the only way that we make this world a better place. As we grow older and our fire possibly starts to dim under the suffocation of adult life and all its responsibilities, it is incredibly important that we encourage and inspire future generations to pick up the torch that was passed to us. Let us display to them loudly and visibly the right thing to do when we want and need change. Let them see us marching in the streets, campaigning on ground level, organizing online, and shouting about it on any and every stage that we are offered. Today, it is a change in school dinners. Tomorrow, it is a change in foreign policy.
I want to be friends with him.
I know.
He's so cool.
He's so cool. I just love this guy. And
the
I'm
daughter
sorry.
was typing, stop to the same old slop.
Yeah. Straight up, I'm like, you look at that and you see like the attempts to try to defame him as, some sort of whatever, trying to get rid of his street cred. Yeah, some sort of villain. And it's just funny because, you read that and you're like, oh, no, what he is just like you or me. He's a parent. This is someone who is a human in the world with a family who, wants all sorts of things for themselves, for their children, for their community, for the world. And, this is not just like the attempts to try to put all of these like pro-Palestine artists into this like, oh, these are some sort of political, radical psychopaths, and completely dehumanize them. Say, well, of course, they would think that they're this, that, and the other. And you just see people like him, people like Miss Rachel, bringing it back to what it means to set an example for their own kids and for their own communities. And it's just, I don't know, it's inspiring to watch. And I just love it. I love it as a parent and I love it as a music fan. And of course,
I love it as a vegan.
So. Yeah, that's right. You're a vegan. You love
that's
it.
That's good. Vegan. The most annoying thing about him is he's a vegan, and now that's good representation.
Yes, finally, a good vegan. But in terms of people who didn't like it, can I just play you guys a video from a rapper out here in the United States named Kosher Dills? Now, I don't think we've talked much about Kosher Dills, but apparently he was a rapper that people knew of, but then after October 7th, kind of became a Zionist, Hezbollah, person. And I don't know if I played much from him, but this is his reaction to all of the people at Glastonbury who are showing their full support for Palestine, including Bob Villain. Check this out.
What up, guys from Brooklyn? It's Kosher Dills. Just looking at this Bob Villain set. Is his name Villain? First off, congratulations on being the villain. Your Glastonbury death to the IDF. another lonely guy who didn't get enough press coverage with 77,000 Instagram followers who playing at Glastonbury. Let me be on the BBC and say death to the IDF. Now you've put tons of innocent Palestinians' lives in jeopardy, causing mass hysteria while you live in the comfort of your home. You are neither Jewish, nor you are Palestinian, nor you suffer from this conflict. You think
time out.
Yes.
What was that fucking mafia threat ass comment?
Oh,
you've
yes.
Just put, you've just marked the entire Palestinian people for death. We're on it now. There's nothing we can do. You've done it now.
Yes, this is his fucking point. Like, that's not an offhanded comment that he made. That is the point of this video. It's about, his point is going to be, because of you, now, in reality, what you're going to see is a bunch of death, and it's because you said something. Just let you know. I mean, it's straight here.
Helping Palestinian people, but in reality, you're angering other people, the IDF. And now you're going to put innocent lives at risk. Also, you could independently gain popularity, finance, and feel the romance of a lot of clicks from establishments that never cover your music. Now, you went from being a political artist to now a political pundit overnight, just like this.
What the fuck are you?
And you kind of fucked yourself. Now you're never going to be able to play all these festivals. You don't help anybody, and you've actually endangered lives with Palestinians. All because you...
I mean, just the idea that he's endangered lives, as if the onus on keeping Palestinian lives safe and not dying is on him and is dependent on his silence. It's just like
a bunch of IDF soldiers just huddled around a live stream of BBC's Glastonbury.
Yeah, and they were like,
we were gonna hold off today, but let's see what's going on in this music festival.
And I'm sorry, but like, is your argument that is your pro IDF argument that they're gonna see this and be so petty they're gonna murder people because Bob Villain was mean to them? Is that your argument? And these are the people you support? This is a fucking insane. This is an insane point to make. You're endangering.
Bloodthirsty, and now you've angered them. It's your fault.
This is like literally you're saying, don't anger the the people who wrote the ransom note. They said no funny business. If you do funny business and they die, it's your fault. I'm sorry, Kosher Dills, you're on notice. I don't know who you are. And I also...
shit, we have a notice board now. Wow.
Yeah, no, I just started a notice board. Kosher Dills, you're on notice, motherfucker. If I see you out in the street, I'm gonna fucking brine your pickle ass.
Your stage name fucking sucks.
It sucks mad dicks. And it just like, I'm sorry, but it'd be maybe a funny 2012 gag. But at this point, what are we doing? Kosher Dills still? Come on, pick a better name.
Also, like, I'm so sick of artists being like, hey, artist, stop being political, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Like, you've entered the conversation now.
Yeah,
like, you're also doing it. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, my God. The idea of stop being political is such an overtly political statement every single time, and it just drives you fucking nuts. But yeah, Kosher Dills.
Shut up and dribble.
Yeah, Kosher Dills, a true statement of solidarity with the IDF there, saying that they would be so petty and murderous that they would do revenge killings because Bob Villain did a set at Glastonbury in which he chanted death to the IDF. Super normal army for you to support, and I'm sure the IDF is very happy to hear your vocal support. One of the last things I'm going to play before we get out of here is this blonde lady.
Nope, I'm already out.
I'm sorry, but we haven't had a blonde lady in a little bit. We heard a little bit of a blonde lady with the Kirsten Gillibrand thing, but
go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, wait. I have a little petty thing after that I'm really upset about that I do want to talk about, but do this first.
Okay, all right. Hey, feel free to be petty. I love pettiness. This show was born on pettiness. Here is this lady.
A quick video because my tweet saying that as a Zionist I would not feel welcome at Glastonbury Festival has received quite a bit of pushback. I completely stand by it. Having seen content from the festival, there are very clear anti-Israel sentiment on display. It's also pretty apparent that some pretty extreme and radical views are being given a platform. I think it's quite depressing that the UK's biggest music festival, which should be open, inclusive and tolerant, would not feel safe or welcoming for an individual like me.
I'm sorry, but the idea of I'm a Zionist and I feel unsafe in the fact that you are not supporting my Zionism is, I'm sorry,
but... The thing is, she started out with her campgrounds at the festival at a certain level, and then she just kept expanding and expanding. And that's right. What they had a problem with.
Yeah, exactly. Just occupying more and more space. But yeah, I mean, it's just, she's referring to a tweet that she made about how sad it is that as a Zionist, I would not feel welcome or safe. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, this should be the norm. As a Zionist, same thing as a Nazi, they would as a Nazi, as a neo, yeah. There's no neo-Confederate signs at public parks. Fine, sorry.
I guess she just wasn't made for these times.
Yeah, I guess she just didn't know about those crimes. Yeah. Shout out Brian Wilson. You up in the sky. I just love watching everyone freak out about this. Pallavi, you have something petty that you want to bring up.
Okay. This is really important. It's the thing that's consuming my everyday life. Love Island. Okay. Oh. Love Island USA.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys watch Love Island, okay, but it's very important to me. It's a reality TV show. It's some of the craziest things you'll ever see of people making out on TV. Anyways, they had
I watched the UK gay version, which is Bruv Island.
Bruv Is that real? Okay.
Put in it. I like how Matt didn't know if it was real.
I was like,
they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it from this podcast.
You're gonna put that in it.
Put it in it.
Yeah. You what?
They have the episodes which are quickly edited of each day or whatever in the villa. But then they have what's called After Sun, which are these interstitial episodes where they have the people who got kicked off, they interview them, they have other people who've been on the show, and it's to a live audience, and they talk about what's happened in the villa, and they have guests, and sometimes they have celebrity guests, and guess who their celebrity guest
Villa?
Was? No, Amy Schumer.
Oh,
dang.
Yeah,
gross.
And they were we're such huge fans of you, Amy Schumer. Oh my God, we're so excited. What did you think of the episode? Who did you like? And I'm the fact that these people, these bloodthirsty racists are normalized in pop culture on other TV shows.
Yeah.
And everybody's acting like she didn't just say Arabs are animals. What the fuck are, it made me so mad because I'm watching this reality show to get away from all of the horrible things that are happening. And then Zionists are fucking everywhere. I'm this sucks. How it's normalized.
Yeah, and it's funny, watching, of course, Bob Vylan losing his talent agents. Will probably lose out on some of the other festivals that he's booked on. I mean, there's going to be another kneecap-esque campaign against him, and hopefully it will have so far what I would consider the same results, good results, in that Kneecap still performed at Glastonbury and still got to put on an amazing set in which they chanted all the same shit that they've been chanting, have not changed their opinion one iota, and were, so far they have only gained popularity. I hope the same thing for Bob Vylan, but you see the establishment in the entertainment industry continuing to put everyone under this huge microscope and put consequences on everyone for any kind of diversion from the from saying Israel has a right to exist. And yet you get to see straight out and out racists like Amy Schumer still have a career.
Shout out to Amy Schumer's anti-Zionist brother.
That's right, Amy Schumer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she does. Yes, she has an anti-Zionist brother.
He's a jazz clarinetist. I think. Bass clarinet, I think he plays. I met him once.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yes.
That's so
I love
cool.
that. Yeah. We all wish.
That's like how Mara Wilson and Ben Shapiro are cousins. Like
they are?
Yeah, Matilda and Ben Shapiro. They're
Matilda,
cousins, and she hates him. She's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah. Matilda way cooler than Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do want to say before we end all of this and end the segment, I was reading some of the lyrics of some Bob Vylan songs, and some of them are a little bit too radical for me personally. So I do understand some of the outrage. I'm going to read some right now. A bunch of fucking mice coming out of the tunnels, trying to discourage. Fools, mark my words, there will be no forgiveness. Yeah, who do you think you are coming and shouting free Palestine? TFII, your children's of Amalek. Hoop, damage them, left, right. Left, impressive. How the whole country put on uniforms from the Galilee to Eilat. Combatants and female combatants. What is that? Devon?
These are different brigades.
Oh, okay. Devon, Magav, Caracal.
I don't know.
Yeah, Bardelas. We brought the whole army on you, and I swear there will be no forgiveness, you childrens of Amalek. That is Bob Vylan. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a different song. My bad. That's Harbu Darbu, which was the #1 song in Israel. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Plot twist. You guys had me. I had no idea. That's crazy.
There's some people out there who had no idea I was doing a plot twist. But yes. So yeah, I think that versus Death to the IDF. One is about an army. One is about a genocidal call for the death to Arabs in Palestine. I feel like there's a difference. And that's the show. Pallavi.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This is so exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting having you on. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Pallavi Gunalan, PALLAVIGUNALAN. I run a monthly show at the Comedy Store called Facial Recognition Comedy. Mm-hmm. It's all South Asian, Middle Eastern, North African comics. So we get a lot of people dropping by to be like, hey, can I do your show so I can run this anti-Israel bit for a few minutes? Because our audience is chill and
I love it.
Sick. Yeah. And so our next one, I think, is July 18th. But we do it every month. And then I'm also like touring and stuff. So if you follow me, that's the best way to keep track and to help me get more tickets sold and go on tour and do more fun things, on the road.
Absolutely. Well, we will have links to all of your socials and the things you were doing in the show description. Check out the show description for more. Pallavi Gunalan, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sure mine was as academic as Muhammad El Kurd. Like, same level when we were talking about cum and all of that.
100%.
Rashid Holiday is taking notes right now.
Yeah, he's just like, Rod Stewart, come. So, yeah, thank you for coming on. And thank you, everyone out there, for listening. And also, thank you, Daniel, for being here. And I hope you enjoy your canoe trip.
Thank you.
I hope it's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy your two best friends.
I hope my pectoral muscles and my lateral muscles and all the muscles I need hold up, because
I hope so too.
I'm older than I look, folks.
Yeah, you really are. I mean, you've got great skin.
You look great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/badassbara, badassbara@gmail.com. All right, everyone. Thanks again so much for listening. And until next time, from the river to the sea.
Bury my heart at Glastonbury.
Yeah, I like that.
Jumping jacks was us. Push-ups was us. Krav Maga us. All karate us. Taking